What's up, guys? Mike here with Cards Juice Sports Cards, back today with another monthly recap video. Today, recapping June 2025. I have some new topics and segments that I want to introduce in this month's video. Lots of cool stuff to share, so let's jump right in. Before we do, if you want to unlock the secrets of selling and investing in low-end sports cards on eBay, this channel is your go-to source for expert tips, honest insights, and strategies to help boost your eBay sales. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button for me if you want to stay ahead in the card selling game, maximize your profits, and take your eBay card selling business to the next level. You can also check out my other channel at Puck Mike, where I open and talk about hockey cards. Let's start with the numbers, a quick look at how things went this month. And look, I've gone back and forth here with how much I want to share when it comes to my sales. On the one hand, I want to share the information because I want to be transparent, because that's the entire point of this channel, but I also want to respect some privacy as well. And just to be real with you guys, I've struggled with the fact that some months I don't have a lot of sales. And so I worry, if I share that information, are people not going to take me seriously? Yeah, some other channels have shared their sales numbers, but it's always, only after they've gained a huge following and they're making $80,000 a year. Look, I started this channel to share the journey with you so that you can see for yourself what it's like to try and sell sports cards on eBay. So I want to be as open as I can so that you can see for yourself and judge for yourself whether it's worth it or not. Despite how a lot of sellers try to portray themselves, many of us don't make a lot of money on sports cards. Okay, just wanted to throw that out there. Let's jump into the numbers now for real. Total cards sold in June, 48, at least at the time of recording this video. I did have a little bit of a boost towards the end of the month. I haven't been sending offers to buyers who add my items to their favorites list, but I sent out a bulk offer for like 50% off all of those items just to try and move some of that product, especially as I'm shifting back to selling more hockey. And I did well on those. I sold a lot of those, so I'm happy I did that. Total card sales since starting the business now is at 2,200 total cards. And I'm not going to share the revenue each time, but just to give you an idea of how the store has been doing, total revenue on those 48 cards was about $80. Those are all pretty much low-end cards. Total revenue for the business as a whole was almost $200 because I did get a payment from YouTube for the last few months or so from the channel. You guys know my story by now. I have a day job. I don't do this full time, but I'm determined to see if and how much money you can make selling sports cards close to a full-time living. Doesn't mean I'm going to quit my day job, but who doesn't like a good challenge? Now, normally I would dive into my strategy and how I'm going to be changing it for the coming months. I have a brand new method that I'm trying that's going to become the bedrock of my buying, pricing, and selling strategy that I'm going to be doing a whole separate video on next month, so stay tuned for that. But for now, let's just talk about the cards that I'm buying. Some recent pickups: got a Victor Soderstrom Young Guns rookie card. Actually got a few of these. I mean, dirt cheap. I think I got two from one seller for like $2.75 total, so really good deal. Former first round pick, 11th overall, went over to play in Sweden last year. Now, if you know anything about hockey leagues, usually when a player goes to play in an international league outside the US, especially after getting drafted and playing some NHL games already, I don't want to say it's a death sentence in terms of their card prices, but many times they don't come back to the NHL and their card values plummet. But that doesn't always happen, and more players are actually coming back after spending time in another league. So the player is coming back, just signed a one-year deal with the Boston Bruins, and given that the Bruins were kind of terrible last year, they're trying to get a little bit younger. I'm hoping he gets into some games and I can sell the card at profit. Almost identical situation here with Lassie Thompson. Snagged a Future Watch auto of his. Now, if you don't know much about hockey card products, I would say the Young Guns are kind of the main rookie card for a player, but of course other products have rookie card variations of their own. These cards, the Future Watch autos from a product called SP Authentic, do really well to hold their value, especially for players who do well. So hoping he has a really good year as well. One more we're going to look at here is another Future Watch autograph for a player named Simon Holmstrom, or Simone Holmstrom. He had a decent year last year with the New York Islanders. I don't want to say it was a breakout year, 45 points in 75 games, but definitely makes the hype jump a bit. Now, this is where your knowledge of the sport and the team and the players come in handy. So again, going back to that concept of selling what you know, the New York Islanders have the first overall pick in this year's draft. So there's going to be a lot of hype around the team. It could bode well for Holmstrom. Hoping to turn that one over before or during the season. So just wanted to show a few recent card pickups. Before we get into what I'm going to do differently next month, as well as a few viewer comments, let's talk some hobby trends and market thoughts. So one trend I've noticed this month is that there is a lot of talk in the hobby about people who are ruining the hobby. Or not just people, things, brands, companies, etc. You hear things about, oh, Fanatics is ruining the hobby, or PSA, they're killing it with their pop control, or oh, Breakers, they're not good for the hobby. Even if all of those things are true, and all of them may be true, the market for sports cards still exists and is going to continue to exist. Every single market where the buyer buys goods or services or both from the seller has multiple players in the game, some with big money, some with small money, some who are just out for money, some who are just here for fun, and so on and so on. But here's the thing, and I hate to say it so flippantly, but none of that matters as much as people think that it does. Now that doesn't mean that those things can't affect the market in a way that affects sales or trends or where or how people buy cards. But at the end of the day, the sports card market is going to exist. And if it's not these people doing things ruining the hobby, it's going to be somebody else trying something. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, you don't have to let that affect you in a way that keeps you in this negative state of, everyone in the hobby is trying to ruin it. I'm the only one who sees it for what it really is. Just be what you want in the hobby. If you want to sell, sell. If you want to collect, collect. If you want to do both, do both. And you can have an opinion about those things. Just don't let them get you so weighed down with, dare I say, despair in some cases that you feel like you're being carved out of the hobby. There's multiple different niches in this hobby. Even if there's big players, small players, people just out for money, all those things I mentioned, you can still sell sports cards the way you want, collect sports cards the way you want. Sure, there's going to be some things that affect the hobby here and there, but there's going to be a market to sell sports cards. So just do you and surround yourself with people who do the same. The hobby or the market isn't defined by one company or one school of thought. Hey, speaking on schools of thought, let's jump to a few viewer comments and responses. First one here, do you factor shipping into your price? For example, adding a $1 to your price if you ship for free. So yes and no. I offer free shipping on most cards that I send out in plain white envelopes. If I have to ship a card in a bubble mailer, I think I have it set up to charge a few bucks in some cases for shipping, but I also have two options in the store. So if someone buys a card and they want it shipped in a bubble mailer, they can select that option and pay the extra price, and I'll ship it out in a bubble mailer USPS ground advantage. But most cards under $20, I have shipping free and I ship out in a plain white envelope. But do I price it differently in those instances when shipping is free? I definitely price it a little bit higher, but I don't look at it as so black and white. I don't look at it as, base price plus shipping price. I look at it as, where do I want to be profit-wise? What's the market currently paying for it, total cost? And then where do I want to be? Sometimes I don't like to be the highest, sometimes I don't like to be the lowest. Now, I'll get into pricing strategy a little bit more, like I said, in an upcoming video when I talk about this new method I'm going to use. But, to answer this question, I do factor that in, but it's just more blended than just saying, well, this card is $3, shipping is free, so now I'm going to charge $4, which is actually over market. Okay, one more here. And by the way, guys, I answer most of the questions in the comments, unless you're trying to troll me. But if you have a real question, I usually answer those in the comments on the videos. So you can always ask it there and I'll likely answer. But wanted to start featuring a few here in case anybody else had the same questions as somebody else. Another person said, I don't see any drop-down options for the create listing button on eBay. Okay, so this is in relation to the video I did about eBay's feature where you can upload photos and it will generate listings from those photos. Now, one thing I learned since doing that video is, number one, you need to have at least a basic store subscription to use that feature. And number two, shortly after I released the video, of course, eBay changed the functionality of that tool. So you don't click the create listing button anymore and the drop-down appears. You click create listing and then there's some options that appear and you'll click photo upload and that will take you into the tool where you select how many photos per listing, upload your photos, and then it generates the listing. It's a great feature. You can check out my video where I go through it in detail. There's definitely still a few kinks here and there, but it's an awesome tool. Okay, and before we say goodbye this month, what will I do differently next month? One thing is list more cards, and I've already started scheduling out some listings. My goal next month is 10 cards per day. I don't want to dive too deep into strategy, again, doing a separate video, but I have a tweak in my strategy. It's kind of what I've already been doing to some extent, but just really kind of lays it out and makes it so much more clear for me. So definitely excited to share that with you guys. So list 10 cards a day. I'm also going to go back to reinvesting my profits in new inventory each month. I've been kind of buying here and there as I need more inventory, but I want to be more consistent about doing that. So if I have any profits after expenses, reinvesting that into new inventory, even if I already have inventory, plus $50 of my own cash on inventory as well, just to keep things consistent and keep cards coming in. Other things I'm going to do, I've also started to put more content back on the hockey card channel at Puck Mike. Took a little bit of a break there, but coming back to it. And I also started a Pittsburgh Penguins podcast on that channel if I have any Penguins fans out here that I've been doing every now and then. So you can check that out as well. Overall, it's been a pretty good month. I feel like over the last year, I've had a lot of changes. I feel like every month I kind of change something different. Not ashamed of that at all. I think you have to evolve, try new things, and that's what I've been doing. But I do kind of feel like I'm finally zoning in on my own niche in the sports card market with this new strategy and kind of coming back to only really selling hockey. So I'm really excited to share that with you guys in the next video. As always, if you want to unlock the secrets of selling and investing in low-end sports cards on eBay, this channel is your go-to source for expert tips, honest insights, and strategies to help boost your eBay sales. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button for me so you can stay ahead in the card selling game, maximize your profits, and take your eBay card selling business to the next level. You can also check out my other channel at Puck Mike, where I open and talk about hockey cards. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.